investor, real estate entrepreneur, and host of Keys to Success. And it is my absolute pleasure today to bring to you all Mr. Damian Ace, another full-time real estate king here in Atlanta, Georgia, killing the game. I always see you building houses and things like that. I want to take a moment and allow you to introduce yourself to our viewers who may not know who you are, sir.
Okay. Well, I'm Damian Ace, of course. I'm a fifth grade teacher, and I am a full-time investor. I started in 2017, February 2017, and got my first deal, my first wholesale deal at the very end of 2017 going into 2018. Wow. And I've been doing ever since then.
Wow. So since 2017, 2018, a full-time teacher and an investor at the same time.
Yes.
That is phenomenal. I mean, I know a lot of different professions, they think about getting into real estate, but what made you do that transition? And actually, if you could move over a little to the side.
Okay.
Camera.
All right. Like that?
Yeah, absolutely perfect.
Okay. What was that question again?
What made you get into real estate investing?
Being in education, I've always been career driven. So I spent many years trying to become a principal. And, I even went back and got my master's degree. And, when I started looking at the pay salary, the most the principals are probably making is probably around 100K, a little bit over 100K. And the amount of time and, time and effort that they have to put into it, it's not worth it. And so, of course, I started praying and asking God to, show me a sign. And real estate kept coming up. And it kept coming up through conversations with my colleagues.
Wow.
So that's how I actually got started. And, the first day of school, I got a new teammate, and he came from Chicago, and he moved to Atlanta just to finish up investing, because he was already investing in Chicago, and he moved to Atlanta. And I instantly had a next door partner that was a mentor, as well as just a confidant in helping me out through this process.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Yeah. So, I mean, and you're still a teacher full time while doing real estate investing. You didn't let up being a teacher. Why is that?
Well, right now, I love teaching. I love teaching. I know that's what God put me on this earth to do, is to work with kids. And I love the profession. But of course, I plan on retiring early.
Right, absolutely. And what subject do you teach in school?
What'd you say?
Which subject do you teach?
I teach math and science.
Wow. So you're a genius, is what you're saying. That's one of the hardest subjects to teach.
Somewhat.
That's great. That's
I'm better with numbers instead of reading.
Wow, that's phenomenal stuff. Yeah. So I know right now you have some real estate projects that are going on, and you were wholesaling. You said you had closed your first wholesale deal, but now I see that you're building and remodeling properties. How did you transition into that?
Well, my initial goal was to actually just become a flipper. And of course, when I first started, I tried to jump directly into flipping and ended up losing some money. And the reason that I ended up I lost the money was because I wasn't reading the comps correctly. And when I lost that little bit of money, I said, hey, let me go back to the drawing board. And I started focusing on one thing, because when I first got started, I was going to real estate school. I jumped online to go to real estate school. I was trying to wholesale. Right. I was trying to find a fix and flip. And I even started an Airbnb all at the same time. And it was too much going on. So I ended up focusing on wholesaling and started doing a lot of marketing. Direct mail was pretty good at the time. And someone finally gave me a call back from a postcard. And of course, the partner I was working with, Sion John, he helped me close my first wholesale deal. And I made like 20 grand off of that.
Wow, that's amazing. I know as a teacher, you're just like, whoa, did I just make $20,000? That's phenomenal.
And that's
so from
And that's when I realized that I didn't need to be a real estate agent at the time.
Wow. So you're like, yeah, not so much with the real estate agent. So
Yeah.
you said you had an error with reading comps.
Uh-huh.
How did you figure out the right way to do it? Or what did you then partner with an agent?
Well, not necessarily partner with the agent. I was running with the Young Bucks when I first started. So I used to watch Errol. We used to have class every Sunday night. So that's when I started to pay close attention to it. And then I finally got access to the MLS and just started learning how to properly read the comps. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing.
That's the biggest thing is understanding the numbers. If you don't understand the numbers, you'll definitely lose every time.
Wow. And so being a teacher and being a math teacher, that helps you within your career as a full-time real estate investor because you love numbers already. So it's a win-win in that, in that respect. It's like it all works together.
Correct. And I mean, being a self-learner, being an educator, you have to learn how you learn best. And the way that I learn best is auditory. So I listen to a lot of podcasts, of course, I read a lot of books, listen to a lot of ebooks, and of course, watch a lot of YouTube. And that definitely helped.
Phenomenal. So now you're rehabbing properties. You always wanted to be a flipper. You're doing that now.
Yeah.
How many properties have you rehabbed up to date?
So right now I am at number 5 now.
Wow.
I'm actually working on 2 right now, and I've already completed 3. So yeah, I'm working on 2 right now. It's been it's a learning experience.
Right.
Still.
And especially with coronavirus and everything that's going on, how is the building? How has your processes been going with the coronavirus and everything that's happening?
Man, it's been moving pretty smooth. One of my properties right now is just sitting right now because we ran into a permitting issue. Of course, I didn't check behind my project manager to make sure that he pulled the comps. And we were in the historic district of Atlanta over in Collier Heights. And I got hit with we painted the outside and we got hit with the stop work order. So, and it's been a long process, when Corona hit, it's been a long process trying to, get through with the city. So now everything is basically through email and that's the process.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. That's I've heard a lot of stories about things that happen like that. And I know there's a builder that we were talking to in my business that said he has some sort of connection with the permits. So after we're done this live, I'll plug you in with that information. That kind of helps speed that up a little bit for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
No problem. So how important, because you said self-learning, how important is education in real estate and in life? I know with being a teacher, how important is continuous education? I know I've seen you at a mastermind out in Las Vegas. You were at the Tony the Closer's 100K event there. How important is that education to keep going?
It's vital. It's probably the most important because what you put into this universe is what you get back out. So it's just like when you're playing basketball, right? And you're sitting on the sideline and you want to get in that game, but you're not putting forth that effort to get out there at night when nobody else is looking and practice. You're not going to become better. So the amount of work that you put in, whether it be with the ebooks, the podcast, YouTube, you have to set that schedule to make sure that you're getting that time in. It's very, very important. Very important.
And there's so much great information out here. Like, do you just listen to everything, or is there anything in particular that you're like, or is it based on, each skill set along the way, or how do you determine like, what do I want to listen to, or the content that you listen to?
Basically who I connect with. When I first started, I listened to a lot of Max Maxwell, and that's when I was able to learn about Tony the Closer and Brian Rigbu, and of course Tony Senior. So I was introduced to those gentlemen, and I felt the connection more so listening to Max at the very beginning when he first started, because he was dropping jewels every day, every single day.
Every day in every video.
Yeah, every time. Yeah, and then eventually I picked up Tony the Closer's book, and that was a good e-read as well.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal stuff. So, I mean, now you're into real estate. You're still a teacher now. What else is in store for you? And what words of advice would you give to someone who's looking to get into real estate investing?
Well, the long-term goals, of course, is to be to become a developer. I want to develop a community one day, set of townhomes or single-family homes. And one of the biggest things again is just education. How much time are you putting into teaching yourself? And then not only just getting the education, but just putting forth that action. One of the biggest things that my friend said to me when I first started, when he introduced wholesaling to me, he said, you have to have a mindset. And the mindset, I couldn't understand it at first. Even at the age of 38, when I first started, it took me a while to grasp what he was talking about. But it deals a lot with, your spirituality, your abundant mindset, how much time you're giving to others, being a go-giver. And once I started to adapt those types of things into my life started to change, not only just from with real estate, but just how I dealt with my relationship with my mom and my family and my relationship with my students. It made my life a lot easier once I figured that out. And it takes us guys sometimes a little time to mature.
Right. The blessing is that you did, and you're continuously growing. As people, that's another major key is that we never stop developing, but at least you are on the journey of growth. Yeah. And that's super important. That a lot of people have to have that growth mindset, like you said. Be someone who wants to develop and want to grow. That's important.
Exactly. And that's the energy that I, being in education, that's the fun part, because I've been able to introduce real estate to a lot of kids in the fifth grade. I didn't get that opportunity in fifth grade. I have those conversations with my students about real estate and about credit, because that's something in our community that we don't get a lot of at a young age. You know what I mean? And I've always worked in urban communities all over, just primarily in Atlanta, inner city kids. So those kids, sometimes they don't have the opportunity like kids that are in the suburbs. So I try to make sure, I drop that jewel with those kids every day, and they see me doing my thing. It's exciting for them, and to be able to include it into a lesson and to see kids actually see how math in the real world works it's a great feeling.
Well, they're absolutely blessed to have you as a teacher. I mean, that is phenomenal. So they know that you're flipping houses and things like that. The students.
Yeah, they see it all over my car. They see it all over my car, all over my truck. And of course, I'm having on Hustle for Houses apparel almost every other day.
That's phenomenal. So you're basically teaching and learning, little entrepreneurs to come up.
Exactly.
That's phenomenal. So you've got real estate investing, teaching, and continuous learning. What made you initially become a teacher? How long did that process, what made you want to do that in the beginning?
Well, when I initially went to college, I wasn't focused. I wanted to become a physical therapist, but I was partying every other day. Okay. And I said, you know what? Let me find something easy to do, right? But when I jumped into education, prior to me getting ready to go to college, my goddad said to me, he said, "Man, I think you'll make a great teacher." And I was like, "Nah, man, I'm not becoming a teacher because ain't no money in it." And 2 years into college, I ended up changing my major to education.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's phenomenal.
Yeah.
And you've been a teacher ever since.
Yeah. I moved to Atlanta in 2003. And I bought my first home in 2009, and that was my first taste of real estate and what equity could do for you.
Well, where are you originally from?
From Florida.
Okay.
Yeah.
All the way from Atlanta. I mean, from Florida to Atlanta. Florida's beautiful. What made you choose Atlanta?
I wanted to come where a lot of Black people are. I love this atmosphere of Atlanta. You know what I mean? And Florida is a little different, whole lot different.
Yeah, I've heard stories of Florida, but it's a beautiful place to visit.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. A very awesome place to visit. So, I mean, tell us, I guess, a little bit more about your journey and some of your keys that you would give to anyone? Like, because I know you're working out and, you know, I see your lives and you're like, what keeps you going? What are some of the keys to your success that keep you going to just not stop?
God. I put God first. That's the first thing, you know, and just having success. That's the biggest thing. I'm self-motivated, you know, and I mean, like, what good is it for me to just continue to settle when there's so much more that God has promised us to do? You know what I mean? Hold on, right quick.
No problem.
Hey, home. Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, but that's the biggest thing, just being self-motivated, and just wanting to have success.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's powerful stuff. Do you mentor any students or anything like that? Or are you currently just kind of getting it all down yourself, or do you have any training students that you're working with currently?
Yeah, I have a couple of friends that have reached out to me on IG, so I've been helping you know, walk them through the process. I'm not more so a mentor, because I don't really want to hold your hand. I want you to get out there. I'll tell you what to do, but just like I had to get out there and go find my first deal. You know,
Right.
it wasn't something that was just given to me. I had to get out there and hustle for it. And
Right.
you know, that's one of the biggest things that a lot of people don't understand. When it comes to wholesaling, there's a grind. There's a grind that you have to put in, and the grind just doesn't mean you know, riding around driving for dollars. You have to pick up the phone and call. You can't just send a text message and hide. You know, you have to put forth that effort, get on the phone with these folks, and, you know, try to solve problems for these home sellers that are sitting on all these properties.
Right, for sure. Now, is there any particular area in Atlanta that you like to invest in, and how do you determine which area that you buy in?
So the biggest, I like College Park right now, historic College Park, and
Okay.
the city of College Park. There's a little small area over there that there are a lot of homeowners that are elderly.
Okay.
And I love, you know, I love fixing on brick houses
Okay.
with basements. So I try to stick in those areas that have those types of homes. So I like 30337, and of course 30318, 14, and 10.
Okay.
So
Fantastic.
those are the areas, of course, that you know, a lot of people are moving to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and gentrification is going on. So, you know, I try to go to the areas where buyers are buying at.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, can we talk a little bit about your brand and how you came up with your brand, and tell us a little bit about the name of your company?
Well, Hustle for Houses initially just came from, it was just a T-shirt at first, because my original company that I first started was DR Hibbert Realty, and I just threw out a name. It was kind of corny at the time, and you know, when I thought about the word hustle, you know, the word hustle comes with a lot of negative connotation. So I wanted to show, you know, that the hustle is not just for anything that may be conceived to be negative. It could be positive. And I just came up with the name one day. We were sitting there, I said Hustle for Houses. And of course, you know, when I first started, I used to watch The Grind Guy every day, John Stafford, every day.
Right.
When I was at work, and his lives would pop up when he would be out in the field. And you know, one thing that he's always doing is branding. He always had Everybody Eats T-shirt on every day, and I just watched that dude like every day. Like every time he had a live, I would watch it, and I just kept saying to myself, "Man, I can't wait till I can get out there and get on that level where he's at." And it just started from there. And of course, you know, I do a lot of marketing. I have a whole bunch of these T-shirts.
Wow.
You know, so I'm wearing them every day, and I'm always giving them out and asking people to wear them, and just, you know, just to start that conversation with folks who are out in the just out and about, you know. And I've got a couple of deals from my T-shirts. You know, people finding seeing the We Buy Houses on the back of my shirt, and they'll give me a call. We exchange contact information then, and it's been fun.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, marketing is so very important in real estate investing and in businesses, period. I mean, I've been investing here in Atlanta for 7 years, And I realized my company just was a quiet little company buying up a lot of real estate. And
Yeah.
I didn't do a lot of marketing, but now, and it's like, it's 2020. I'm like, oh, we're about to market. We're
Yeah.
going to market big time. You know?
Yeah.
You quietly do the marketing, but I mean, it makes a difference when you're building that brand
Yeah.
recognition. People are understanding who you are in the industry.
Exactly. And that's the first thing, I branded my car. I have signs on the side of my car, and actually the deal that I'm working on in Collier Heights, it came from that sign.
Wow.
Yeah, a guy, and my car was parked at work, and the guy happened to be riding by the school through the parking lot, and he saw my number, and we started talking. And a year later, he ended up selling his house to me.
Wow. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's phenomenal. I think advertising on a vehicle is so important.
yeah,
I just bought a new Mercedes and I'm like, I might have to buy another car and
yeah,
wrap that other car. Or maybe I don't know, we'll see. But I want to market on the vehicle. And
yeah.
maybe have a car specifically for just business purposes where you wrap it.
Hmm.
It's super, it's helpful if you're out at the grocery store, anywhere, just in your regular life, just
Yeah.
to have people be able to see it and then write the number down.
You know what'd be good for you if you would have put that picture that you have on IG and put that picture on the side of your car, because beauty sells. Okay, so people gonna see your picture, they gonna start to call you because of that.
Start calling
Yeah,
like Miss Lee sells houses.
exactly,
Absolutely. And I don't
exactly.
know which picture on IG, because I have a few of them, but just one of the photos that I have on IG, kind of use it on the vehicle.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. I may actually do that. Thank you for the advice, because I'm like, now is the time to just start branding. I know that I've seen that they're having these queen closers, and I'm like, some of these ladies have been doing the business for like 3 years. I've been consistently
Yeah.
buying in Atlanta for 7 years, and no one really, Atlanta knows, but
Yeah.
like it's been a quiet thing. So I think it's important to
Mhm.
just brand and market so people can know,
Definitely.
what you're doing.
It's important. It's important. That
For sure.
conversation, even with IG, a lot of my friends that know me from before, they see the transition, they see the change. And,
Yeah.
I have friends reaching out to me now, especially as we start to get older,
Right.
they're looking for other things to do, to invest in, and set up for their retirement as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, marketing, the cars, what are some of your final keys to success to our viewers that you would say? I mean, putting God first,
Yeah.
be, being a continuous learner,
Hmm.
being a go giver. You've dropped a lot of nuggets. What would you say are some of your final keys to success to our viewers?
Believe in yourself. Believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, nobody else will. I had to get out here and just start networking. Even when I wasn't even flipping any houses, I had people thinking I was flipping houses. You know what I mean?
Right.
I got out there and I tried to fit in as much as I can, and I keep my nose clean. I stay professional. I build meaningful relationships around Atlanta, and not just in Atlanta, but around the nation. Just going to a couple of events that helped a lot. And I
Yes.
just think just being a caring person, I think, and just having good, great relationships definitely helps with what you have going on, and trying to achieve that success.
Wow. Yeah, that's great information. Well, I want to thank you for taking the time out of your afternoon to just be interviewed and allow me to take the time to just question you about all of the amazing things that you've got going on in your business and in your life.
Yeah.
And, I wish you nothing but greatness in your industry and with the properties that you're rehabbing. And one final question I want to ask: when it comes to rehabbing properties, did you have a team in place? Like, how did you put together the team for the properties? Is it something like you individually built it, or you've seen someone else's? What would be some of your advice for people looking to rehab properties?
Hire a project manager first so that you can learn. And,
Okay.
and God showed me that sign, because last year, or right before I bought my first property, and I thought about going out to do it myself, I saw the headaches that a couple of my colleagues were having with their properties. And I watched a couple of people, and I found this guy, and he was very helpful with teaching me, the foundation, how hard money works, how the draws work, all that good stuff that comes, that comes with it. And from there, I've just been able to just get out myself and make myself a checklist and, started networking and building my own team as well. So,
gotcha.
and
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it's easy just to walk up to somebody when you're driving for dollars and you see a contract, you see a crew outside working, you can definitely see the work right then and there. And you can go walk up to them and build a relationship right then on the spot. So it's not hard to build your own crew, You just have to know what you're doing and know what you expect and find the right person to get that done for you.
Wow, that's great advice. And when it comes to a project manager, would you hire someone that's a part of that crew, or is it someone who has, how did you come about finding your project manager?
I went to a seminar, networking, and okay. I started watching them on IG first before I started doing business with them. But I just watched this process, and I was pretty happy with it, and we just started from there.
Wow. Yeah. Wow, that's great information. Well, Damian, I want to thank you again for taking the time. Where can people find you if they have properties in the Atlanta, Georgia area that they want to send, or College Park, or just have any questions for you? What's the best way to reach out to you?
IG, Facebook, Instagram, and my phone number, of course, is I can put it out at 678-834-9428. You can hit me up anytime. I am a little slow with responding to text messages, but I will get to them.
Okay, awesome. That's phenomenal. Yeah. Well, I want to thank you again for taking the time, and I want to thank you to all my viewers who were tuning in today to hear some of the keys to success from Mr. Damian Ace. Again, it is your girl, Miss Lee, full-time investor here in Atlanta and host of Keys to Success. I look forward to seeing you guys again soon, every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 1 p.m. Thank you guys so very much for tuning in. Thank you.